All right, whenever you're ready, Peter.
Are we on?
We're on, we're recording, yes.
Oh, okay. Good evening. This is Peter Casarella from the Douglas Library Board of Trustees. It's our monthly meeting today, Monday, October 17th. It's approximately 7:10 p.m. I'm vice chair filling in for Pat Ayers, who's not with us yet this evening. That being said, I would like you all please to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are there any public comments? Is the public out there? Does anyone have something to say? Hearing nothing, we'll move right into the secretary's report. I trust everyone has had an opportunity to review the proposed minutes. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as
I will
presented?
make one correction first. Could I make a couple spelling corrections before we approve them?
Sure.
On new business item 4, Joan Toomey's name should be spelled Toomey. In my name, item number 8, adjournment, that's appropriate. There should be an E on foot.
Anything else,
And if
MA?
no, I will move to accept as amended if no one else has any comments first.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
So that's MA made the motion and Dale Bland seconded the motion. Is there any further discussion on the minutes as amended? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Oppose? Abstentions?
I'm abstaining. This is Sue Porter.
Okay, the ayes have it. The motion passes. Hi, Sue. How are you?
Good. Good to hear your voice, Peter.
And good to hear yours too. Okay, financial report included in our package. Kevin, anything outstanding, anything we need to worry about? Or is it still a bit early?
It's a bit early. Things are kind of rolling along as expected. There hasn't been any major things that have caused us to be out of whack of where we should be.
How about the computer technology?
So we're a little higher at computer technology because we ordered some, let's see, right, that's not the phones because that was previous. That's because we are in the process of replacing the public CPUs, and there's some materials there that we purchased as a part of renovating the free ones that we got from UConn.
Any other questions of Kevin and the financial report? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to the director's report. Kevin?
Okay. Busy last month and a week. We had a staff training on the 23rd. We reviewed the cricket machine, which we've made available to the public. Before it was something we just used on staff projects. And went over Biblio Plus, the streaming movie service, Talked to staff about making room reservations and went over the public form for filling that out for requesting them. And I talked a little bit about the strategic plan, even though it hasn't been approved, just that it is coming and we're nearing that point. Novus is still working to acquire the necessary licenses to complete the replacement of the public thin client computers. Right now, we're currently down to only a handful of working terminals in the building, which hasn't really been a huge issue, but once in a while we've run into a point where we don't have enough computers for people that would like to use them. So we're looking forward to getting back up to full speed when they finish that project. We have our the Teen Haunted Library this Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. That's part of the Harvest Moon Festival. That'll be happening in the parking lot and across the street on Route 85. We're looking forward to that. That was a big success for us last year. We've begun a partnership with the Flower Girl Bakery, which is the new bakery next door, to incentivize children to check out items. So any patrons ages 15 or under can get a punch card that will earn them a free cookie after 5 visits to the library where they check something out. So they can bring their receipt to the cafe and get a punch card and a piece of candy. And then after 5 punches, they get a cookie. The Children's Department is hosting a Goblin Bash on Saturday, the 29th at 1 p.m. This is the annual Halloween event that the Children's Department likes to do. So they're excited to put this on. Sherry's got a magician coming in and is going to be picking up some goodies and decorating the room nicely. Sherry's also been working on painting a dragon mural behind the circulation desk. It looks really good. It's just about done and the kids love it so far. I've been working on the State Library annual report. So that's just a collection of budget figures and circulation figures and just information about our building and the collection that every library in the state submits to the state library. It's due at the end of October, which is a little earlier than it has been in years past. So it's a bit of a process to get all the numbers that they want. We have a scarecrow in the Town Center Project Scarecrows on Main event. So it's right when you pull into our driveway, you'll see a bookworm or a worm coming out of a book that is on display. So that'll be there through the end of the month. On Saturday, we received a collection of photo portraits of immigrants and refugees from the Family Diversity Project. This is an art collection that's been loaned to libraries kind of all over the area. It came from Willimantic Public Library before us, and I have them on display in the community room until the beginning of November. So it's really a nice little art display, and it's a little bit of a proof of concept for maybe a new way we can start using that room. So if you happen to be in the building, take a walk through that room. And then finally, we have an open ad right now for an LTA1. We're looking for somebody to work approximately 14 hours a week, mostly evenings. And we'll be getting applications through November 10th for that one. And that's my report. I thought I had included some photos, but maybe they got mixed up. Oh yeah, they ended up below the building updates. So there's a picture of our scarecrow, and then the dragon that Sherry's been working on, and
That's
a poster. Yeah, it looks very good. A poster for the cookie program with the Flower Girl Bakery as well. Any questions about the report?
No questions, but are you sharing, for instance, the Flower Girl Cookie Book Club idea with the state? It's a really cute idea.
I haven't shared it with anybody with the state, just yet. There hasn't been a great opportunity for it. But we'll get it in the newsletter this upcoming month, and it'll be something we'll be advertising more around. And I think it is kind of a model thing. The idea of us partnering with local businesses, hopefully to benefit both of us, is
Mhm.
really kind of an ideal scenario. That's what those are the type of connections you want to be making. So
Exactly. I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea. And I think people around the state would like to hear about that.
okay, well, I'll make sure I let them know.
Good.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Kevin. Anyone out there from Friends of the Library with anything to tell us, to share with us? Okay, hearing nothing. Gail, are you still with us? Anyone filling in for our town manager?
I think,
representative?
I think that is me.
Oh,
Can
hi,
you hear
Donna.
me? It's
Yes.
Donna. Okay, I have a few things and just to follow up on what Kevin mentioned earlier. We're working on the public computer replacements and Novus is getting the last of the programs that he needs for that. We're also replacing 3 full-time staff computers in our computer replacement plan. So those are in the works too. Kevin and I have another meeting with the ESC to go over their proposal for the hybrid meeting room that we're creating for the community room. So we're meeting with them this week. And hopefully we can get that ordered in the works soon. Budget and well, CIP budgets are due to the town manager's office by November 15th, and then we'll start budget work. And the last thing on the Harvest Moon Festival this Saturday, just a heads up that the festival runs from 2:30 to 7. We will be closing Route 66 from the intersection of 66 and 85 to the intersection of 66 and Wall Street. So the road will be officially closed. It's much safer that way, especially with it running into the dark evening hours. So there will be detour signs and detours available, but I just wanted, to let everybody know that that will be happening. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Any questions of Donna?
When did you say that was this Saturday?
Yes.
It's the
Okay.
22nd.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And I don't have any comments as chairperson because I didn't know I was going to be chairing the meeting this evening. So let's go on to old business. AHM Mental Health
No, you
Resource.
want Gail for the select.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gail, are you there? I didn't know you.
Yes, I am here, Peter, and as usual, Donna covers it all. So hi, everybody, but I have nothing to add to what she said.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, AHM Mental Health Resource Library update, please.
Kevin's muted.
Evan, you're on mute if you're talking.
Sorry about that. I inadvertently got rid of the building updates section of old business. So maybe that's something we can swing back around to. There is a little something in your packet about that. Regarding the AHM Mental Health Resource Library, I included in your packet a copy of the blurb that will be posted on the front of the library that just explains a little bit more about the Here For You concept. And then I also included 6 pictures of potential locations where we could put the mailbox. Let me just share my screen here so we can take a look. Because I think we were at the point where we just we needed to decide where it is that we wanted to put this. And since there was some thought that next to the mailboxes may not be ideal, I put another couple of potential locations here. So the top two are in the front of the building, one kind of on each side of the library. Potentially makes sense there. It's by the sidewalk. There's some walking traffic, but it's not super close for driving traffic. Well, it's not far either. You just kind of end up stopping as you're pulling in. Then on the island in the middle of the parking lot could also potentially be a location. Behind the Friends donation box. In the rear of the building, there's green space and a walkway that would be easy to access by car. And then potentially we could put it either next to the mailboxes or on the other side of that island of grass by the maple tree. Would be okay as well. So some suggestions. Love to be able to get it in the ground before winter. I know that we would have to run these by planning and zoning, I would think, if they, especially if they were in the front of the building. But Donna, you had your hand up.
I just wanted to mention a couple of those might be the snow removal, or where they end up having to, push the snow or plow the snow, might not be the best. We don't want to put it somewhere where it has the potential to be damaged.
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking about that. I figured we'd see what we liked and then
Yeah.
see if there were any blocks afterwards.
Is the group ready to vote this evening on placement?
Now, I think the ones in the front, toward the front, are, by the sidewalk, are, I prefer.
Well,
Okay.
let's number
And
the
I was
six.
going to say,
Go ahead.
I sort of prefer them a site that's nearer the parking so the people can pull up and park and then walk over to the kiosk.
Okay, well, let's number these so we know which ones we're talking about.
Okay, so let's start top left.
That'd be 1, 2.
1, and then top right is 2, and then bottom left
3.
is 3, then 4, then 5, then 6.
Okay, now when we're speaking, we at least know we're on the right photograph. Any other thoughts concerning where this placement can propose to be?
I think now with Donna mentioning about the plowing, I think 4 and 5 and 6 are a little questionable about plowing.
I think 4 would be okay. They're gonna.
Which one?
I think 4 is okay, but I think 3, I would be concerned about 3, 1, and 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So if we
Any
take the-
other, anyone else have any other comments? Now, refresh my memory, please, Kevin. Last month, we, as a board, voted to pursue putting this box up. So we've
Oh.
already covered that, right?
There wasn't an official motion made. I don't know that an official motion needs to be made for putting it up. The AHM has permission from the town manager's office, and we're just kind of, unless there's any official objections to it, I don't think there needs to be a motion about whether or not we're putting it in. But if we wanted to just discuss where it's going to be and agree to that as a group, we could do that.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Should we just take 1, 3, 5, and 5 out? Make it easier.
Well, what I was going to suggest is we figure out how many voting members are present this evening. We take picture by picture, and I just ask all those in favor of that one, let me know. And we write the numbers down. And then when we're done with the 6th picture, we know where we are.
How many times can we vote?
You vote. Well, you should only vote once, MA, right?
Well, I don't know. It depends how it comes out. There may be ties or whatever. Well, then we could just revote.
Right. Is that okay with everybody? Kevin, how many voting members do we have
Hold on, let me grab the
present this
share
evening?
for a sec so I can see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so we know that. So is everybody okay with what I'm suggesting?
Yeah,
So Peter, are we all going to vote on each scenario?
no,
would be
you
my-
should pick you one, I think.
I will vote on each picture.
Yeah,
What I see, Gail, is we vote on each picture individually with 1 vote per trustee member.
And so we're only voting on numbers 2, 4, and 6, though. Am I
We're gonna vote
correct?
on all 6. We're gonna vote on all 6. If no one votes for number 1, that answers that question.
Okay. All right.
That's what I envision. If someone else has got suggestions, please.
I'd like to just say that as far as us keeping an eye on it, it will be easier for us to keep an eye on it if it's nearer to the parking lot than if it's in front of the building, because that's a natural walking path for staff. If it's in front of the building, that's fine, but we just won't see it we'd have to make a special trip to look for it.
So which one is that? Um,
So 1
Those
and
are
2
1 and
is in
2.
front of the building. And then, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all on the side.
Okay,
Now, what's the responsibility of the library with this AHM kiosk thing?
Well, theoretically none, but it's still something that's
so-
on our,
That's what I thought.
yeah, it's still on our, property. We want to make sure things look good, and I want to give AHM a heads up if, it's empty or there's some other issue that they need to address.
everybody okay to vote now by photo?
Yeah,
Okay, anyone who wants photo number 1, placement with photo number 1, please let me know. Anyone? Okay, 0 for number 1. Number 2. Anyone like number 2?
I do, Peter.
Okay. And I do, so that makes 2 votes. Anyone else?
okay.
Okay,
I'd
number
like
2.
it there too. But
And is that Dale?
yeah,
Okay, that's 3 votes. Anyone else? Okay, number 2 gets 3 votes. Number 3, anyone in favor of voting for number 3? Okay, number 4. Anyone in favor of number 4? Number 5. Okay, last but not least, number 6.
I do.
Me too.
Me too. This is Gail. I agree.
That's 3 votes. Any more?
Yes, I think I like that one the best.
That's you, Sue?
Yes.
That's 4 votes for number 6.
That has it in two different places, so I think you need to split
Yeah.
that vote.
Just to be
In the-
clear, are we all voting on the, so I put it in two different places because I thought one picture could solve both problems there, but there's a location either right next to the mailboxes or there's one next to the maple tree.
Okay, you four, what do you want?
Mailbox.
I agree with Mary Ann, mailbox.
Yeah, the one farther down is likely to get hit with the
Right.
plowing.
Okay, is it safe then to say that photo number 6 with the signage close to the plants and the mailbox is what we are, as the trustees, recommending where this facility be put?
Yeah.
Yes, Peter.
Okay, Kevin, I give you some direction.
That sounds great. Thank you. I'll make sure that that's safe to do and I'll work on getting it put in.
Good, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for participating. Next item on the list is Poet Laureate, MA.
I think you better ask Althea and Gail. We haven't managed to get together.
No,
Okay,
we
Al-
haven't. And I have nothing to, as important as I think it is, I do not have anything to contribute. And we better get our act together and meet.
Ditto.
If everyone would like it, I would send out the 3 documents that we had in place ready to go. I don't know, was it 2 years ago, year and a half ago? I don't know. And send those out to everyone so you could see and comment on at least what our concerns are or what we were suggesting.
Okay,
and you would send those out to who, Marianne?
Oh, maybe I'll just send them to Kevin and let him share them with everyone.
I can do that.
But we're just
Thanks.
sharing these documents with the trustees.
oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, they're not for public dissemination. They were our working documents. And they are good, what we developed, what we need to meet to determine our next steps.
We need to pick a date for an introduction tea for anyone interested in applying for the position. That would be the first thing. And we need to pick that date and advertise it.
I
And ask
agree.
Kevin to make tea and crumpets for the group.
But I think as you're coming into the holiday season, you might be a difficult time to
Maybe our
start that.
poets will be developing something for each of the holidays. That would be great.
National Poetry Month is April, so that's kind of
Oh,
that's something. I don't know if that's the end of a process or the beginning of a process, but just FYI.
Good thing to know.
I would hope that we had a laureate by then and that person could do something for April's month.
good idea.
Okay, so the committee's or the subcommittee's recommendation is that Kevin send out those documents to the board. And we have what, comments for next month or?
Or before, whatever.
I would like to see comments from the board on those documents. Mary Ann, if you agree.
Yeah, but they could be shared prior to the next meeting.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so that we all can look at what we received.
Right.
Kevin, you okay with that? You're set with direction?
Yeah, Emma, if you could send them to me, that would be great. I'd probably have them as well in my files, but you may have the more up-to-date version.
Okay.
Good. Any other, anything else from the subcommittee?
Yeah,
If not, I'm gonna move on.
okay.
All right, in-person meetings.
So this was just earmarked for a discussion regarding in-person meetings for this group. I don't believe there's been any more guidance from the selectmen regarding this, but some groups are meeting in person, a lot are still meeting remotely. So I think this is just a mark to talk about this as a group, to see what we wanted to do.
Anybody have any feelings out there?
I think everyone knows that I like to meet live. That's my feeling.
Well, I don't usually manage to disagree with Mary Ann, but I would like to keep the meetings virtual. We're coming into the winter and the like, so if it rains, it snows, we can still meet. There is a new strain, XBB, which is multiplying like crazy, so we don't need to be out there exposing ourselves unnecessarily to another variant of COVID. So that's my opinion. All right, so I would vote for keeping us virtual.
Thank
I
you.
think especially during the flu season and so forth, and we're doing quite a bit online. I would prefer staying online for the winter.
Thank you, Dale. Althea, Sue, any comments?
Well, yes, for the winter, I'd rather go with Zoom and then maybe in the spring, start up in person.
Thank you. Sue?
It doesn't matter to me, Peter, either way.
I like the idea. I would prefer to meet face to face, however. With everything else that's being said and what's going on in the world, I'd rather wait till the spring too and revisit this issue. So that being the case, and what I heard from my fellow board members, it sounds to me like we continue meeting virtually until the spring and relook at it at some point in time in the spring. Is that accurate?
Are we thinking like January meeting, February meeting to potentially do March as an in-person meeting, or talking about it in March, just so I can make a note about when to reintroduce it on the agenda?
How about we talk, my suggestion is we talk about it in March, because spring isn't, and the flu season isn't over until April. Nor is Connecticut's snowstorms.
You know, well, the way you're looking at it, that means we can't have our introductory poet laureate tea until April either.
What happened then? I'm out of here.
Okay, so what I heard is we're gonna wait to meet face to face until the spring, being defined somewhere between March and April. We're gonna continue to meet virtually from now till then. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree.
Okay, Kevin, you know what to do then, right?
Yep, I will table this until the March agenda.
Beautiful. Thank you. Strategic plans next, Kevin.
So regarding the strategic plan, so we're in the same position we were last month. You all have had the plan for a couple of months now. There's no new information. I didn't receive any questions or anything via email. So we're just looking to approve or not approve the plan. So the committee can either finish their work or work to get it to where it is that the board would like it. So we just need a vote on it. Could be tonight if you feel like doing it tonight. If you don't feel comfortable doing it tonight, I would just hope that we can do it soon.
Yeah, I'd like to see it voted on by the trustees this evening.
Okay,
I think it's a very, very well thought out plan, and I like the categories you've put it in, and just using WISE as the category, the beginning category in each of the groups. I liked it.
Okay, who wants to make a motion that the Board of Trustees accept the strategic plan and move forward to get it to the selectmen for their approval and adoption?
I'd like to
I
make
so
that
moved.
motion, but as I'm on the board of selectmen, I don't know if that's right for me to do.
Okay.
I'll move to accept it.
Thank you, Dale.
Is there a second? Hello, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Who is that, please?
Emily,
Emily. Thank you, Emily. Can we have the motion read back, please?
So the motion for the boards of trustees to accept the suggested strategic plan was made by Dale Bland, seconded by Seer. Was that, could you hear me okay?
Yes, I heard you. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Any further discussion on the motion that's on the floor? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Abstain? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The strategic planning committee did a lot of work on this, and we're happy that you're happy with it. We'll go forward and I'll create a final version of this with the appendices in place, and I will speak with Donna and Andy about getting it on the selectmen's agenda for acceptance when it's appropriate.
Thank you. Next item, River East letters.
So towards the end of your packet, I included what we had as far as a schedule for the op-eds in River East. So it looks like not everybody is on this list, and there's a couple of months that are empty as well. I know Peter, yours was in the paper last week, I believe. That was
Last
very nice.
week ago Friday, yes.
Yeah. So that was very nice. But we don't have anybody for November or December. Or July.
Well, I didn't do my September one, and I think it's just as well, since we're delaying that poet laureate for quite a few more months. So I can move further down somewhere on the list, or do January or February of '23.
We also would have March, April, May open. If you wanted, we didn't do an entire year. I think we just went out the next like 7 weeks or 7 months or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think February or March would be a good time to introduce the poet laureate in that way.
Well, Colleen is marked down for February right now, so maybe I'll put you down for March.
Sure. As long as you remind me.
I didn't do mine this summer. I was trying to get in touch with Pam Cohen and do something about the Friends of the Library.
Mhm.
So why don't I try to do November and try to work with Pam on that?
Sure. And Dale, I probably have something from a newsletter this past summer that would help you out with that, because after they gave us our new round of funding, I wrote a little something about it, I think.
Right, yeah. So I think a combination of things, and I just wanted to include Pam because being on the board, Friends of the Library do not want to exclude them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And if you can't get in touch with Pam, of course, would be Tim and Maureen Howard.
Okay.
And anyone else who wants to volunteer, just give Kevin a call. We'll put your name on the schedule. Thank you.
Peter, nice job. Mentioned.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, loved your little letter.
Thanks, Althea.
Mm.
Okay, new business, meeting schedule, Kevin?
Proposed meeting schedule for 2023 in your packets. It's kind of straightforward. Second Tuesday of the month for every month except for October when it's the third
Second
Tuesday
Monday.
because of Columbus Day.
No, Kevin.
Oh, Monday, yes.
Second Monday.
I said Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, so second Monday of the month, except for October when it's the third. And these are just dates out till January 2024.
You want us to accept this, or is this just information so everybody knows what our schedule is?
I would need you to approve, accept it or approve it, and then I can send it along to the town clerk to have these dates officially posted.
I so move.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in, any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I
Oppose? Abstain? The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, Kevin, looks like you're looking for the 23-24 expense budget and then capital budget.
Yep. So I'm just going to share my screen so you can see where I'm at. I just put this on the agenda as a starting point for our discussion for the next budget cycle. I haven't really done very much to it yet. I looked a little bit at potentially the impact on the part-time payroll line because minimum wage will be going up to $15 an hour on June 1st. So there'll be some impact there regardless. And then I put in a couple of inflationary things and a couple of notes for just need to check with vendors before I can make an estimate. I really just wanted to kick off the conversation here and see if there were any items you would like me to put together, proposals for, or anything you'd like me to do. We've probably got a couple of months before we have to turn anything into the selectmen. It's usually early January, I think, is when they start looking for this stuff. I just wanted to get the ball rolling. I know last year we put in request for Sunday hours and for a increase in salary for the the part-time workers.
What about the increase in salary for the full-time employees? Weren't you still trying to bring those folks up to an average wage?
I am, and that was part of, right, that was part of it as well last year. That's not officially part of my budget. That's part of the town manager's budget. So we did submit the cost proposals for getting them up to the state library association's recommended wages for their positions. And that didn't happen last year, although they did get an increase. So that would also be something else that we could keep pushing on, which I would support. And especially as the minimum wage crawls up higher, there's less and less space between the full-timers and the part-timers.
Everybody on the same page with Kevin on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we've supported it and pushed it in the past.
Good. Any other expense items that the trustees have kicking around in their head they want to just get out there on a piece of paper to see what it looks like? I certainly am still pushing Sunday hours.
Kevin, could that question possibly go into the newsletter, or would be creating a problem if we even bring up the subject?
Oh, boy.
Putting it just like what question would you want in the newsletter?
Just if there
How many-
seems to be any interest.
Oh, in
I
Sunday
mean,
hours.
you're not going to do a formal survey, but if,
Well, that was kind of some of the information that we gathered as a part of the strategic plan survey. That information's not, well, just about a year old at this point. And there was a lot of interest across the board with more hours. And a part of the strategic plan was to try and increase and standardize the hours. We had prioritized standardizing
that
the
was a
opening
big part of
time
it.
and Saturdays before Sundays. But increasing the hours is something that's part of the strategic plan.
I think in general, of course, I could be wrong. There's also the problem of finding people to work. There is a problem finding people to work in general, and then finding people to work on Sundays, I think would be even harder at this point. Even though I've always, I wanted the library to be open on Sunday, I think the timing is really bad right now. That's just my 2 cents.
We've had reasonable success getting applications in when we hired last year. I don't know where we're at now. It's pretty early in the
Mhm.
process.
Mhm.
So, for us, we haven't had problems people wanting to work here. It's more the hours that, we're offering. And yeah, working, a lot of the people want to work during the day more than they want to work at night. And there probably would be some people less excited to work on Sundays, but I think we'd be able to do it if the funding were there.
Yeah, okay, good.
So we've still got time on the expense budget then.
Yeah, I can start. What I'll do is I'll just talk to I'll start having some conversations with Andy about some of these things, and I can start maybe putting together some spreadsheets or updating things that we have. So we can start getting that together in the next couple of months. Also on the 23-24 budget subject are the CIP/capital projects. That's a deadline coming up faster. So those would have to be approved at the November meeting. I don't have them in the packet right now because I didn't get a chance to, we really just have one CIP proposal right now, and it's one that we've been putting in for the past several years. It's the repaving and striping of the parking lot. And I wasn't able to get an updated number on that in time for your packet. So I didn't include it this time. So there's that, and then yeah, there may be some other small things that wouldn't reach the CIP threshold, but possibly the capital projects threshold.
Which is what, 25,000?
75,000.
75, okay.
Yeah, the ceiling for what becomes a CIP was raised last year or the year before.
Seems to me the parking lot, though, we were earmarking about 4 or 5 years out, right?
We were, yeah, but that would be this upcoming fiscal year at this point. So we've had it in CIP the past several years, and yeah, this would be so 23, 24 would be when it would come up for if
All right,
Kevin's
I've got
hoping to
one.
meet
And
the time.
something to keep in mind with that, with the parking lot paving, is that the bridge is going to be installed.
I was
the
gonna mention that.
Walkway in the bridge, so some of that may, some of that may become part of that project, I would think.
Sure.
Not the entire parking lot, but they're gonna be doing construction back there, so some of it may take care of itself. But it would probably be a
I
good
would
idea to coordinate them and make sure that we don't do anything before that happens, and maybe make it part of that project.
We'll have to have a
I was
conversation.
wondering
with Kevin
about,
Kelly about it. Go ahead, Emma, sorry.
I was wondering about more lighting, if we could come up with more lighting that would meet that minimum. And I was thinking that we should start looking into lighting for the bridge, unless, as Donna says, it could be covered under the ARPA money.
Lighting, that bridge project has grown. We got a grant to do that project, and it includes walking paths and lighting. It's quite a more expanded project now. Let's just put it that way. We got a substantial grant, so the lighting is taken care of for that bridge portion.
And it seems to me there's a lighting requirement on the development going on behind the library as well, which will help us.
Well, when that comes to be, you mean?
Yes, when they finally put it,
Yeah.
when they continue on with that project, yes. And you might want to touch base with Kevin Kelly if you haven't yet, just to get his feelings on whether or not we should think about repaving everything or patching it. Remember, we had his help a few years ago, and I think he's still working or trying to work with the state regarding drainage in front of Old Town Hall off of 66, the way the state mounded the road, so that everything flows down towards Old Town Hall and then ultimately comes to the library.
Yeah, I'll touch base with him. We talk about it every year, and he actually pushed it back a couple of years ago, and he may
Yep.
feel the same way now. So whatever his expertise says, I'll likely follow.
Good. Yes, I think that makes a lot of sense myself, Kevin. In any event, it sounds like the capital, we're gonna have to make some decisions on capital pretty soon if we're gonna vote on it next month.
Yeah.
So everybody get their ideas on capital, Kevin, please. Because if we miss a deadline, correct me if I'm wrong, Don, if we miss it, we've missed it.
For the CIP, they're due November 15th, and that is for the CIP projects over 75, and then any capital projects from 10,000 up to the 774,999.
The building itself, Kevin,
Mhm.
we're all set with, for all intent and purposes, we're set with windows, floors, carpeting. The roof, we know.
Yeah.
The roof, we know what's going on.
What
And
about the humidity control?
That's still a little bit up in the air. We got the building committee got a proposal through ESC, which is the company that they work with on the lighting and the HVAC. So they gave us a proposal for putting in humidity sensors on the first floor of the building that would then run the boiler to pull moisture out of the air during the months when it's more humid down there. The thought was that would be a cheaper solution than redoing the whole thing, so you can actually pull humidity out of the air. And that proposal was passed on to the town manager's office, and I think right now that's where it is. So it was
Would that
about
be-
$6,000. It doesn't quite reach the threshold for this, and you know, I'm not sure necessarily if it's something that would happen this year or if it would be part of the proposals or not. But I sent Andy an email on that today, so I'm hoping to have a conversation with him this week about it.
You know, I mean, I just mentioned it because that was a money expense, an expense that's coming up. And if we needed to put it on CIP or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's something would be
Well,
nice to have something about that.
Boost it and get it right into the capital. You get to 7, you know.
Yeah, you're right. I want to make sure that we're going about it the right way, since there was already a proposal made by the building committee. You know, that potentially, you know, they asked for it to be funded earlier, so I don't want to put it in next year's budget if it's something being considered earlier, so I need to have a conversation first.
Okay, so get your capital items to Kevin, please. Anything else on the expense or capital budgets?
No, not right now.
Okay, Hebron holiday celebration.
So the committee has been having meetings every other Wednesday since early September, and it's coming along very nicely. So this will be the first Saturday in December. The tree lighting, we'll have you know, choral performances from the community and from the school, the crafts in the library. It's a nice community event, and it's a good showpiece for the library. There'll be trains at Old Town Hall as well. So I just wanted to see if the board would be willing to volunteer on the day of. We could always use more hands to help out with things like crafts and different parts of it. So it's December 3rd. I'm sorry, yeah, December 3rd. And it would be from 3 to 5 p.m. But you know, you could plan maybe 2 to 6 or something like that. It probably wouldn't be all that time. But you know, the more hands that we have and the more volunteers we have, the better event we can make it. And it does reflect a lot on the library, how it is. So I'd love to have your support on it.
Last year, we needed more people helping out, both for the kids, the crafts in the community rooms, and just being of general help around the parking lot. Well, just general supervision and helping kids with crafts. We just needed more help. Could we put out a schedule, maybe combined all of the library groups? And hope that people would sign for an hour or whatever?
Yeah, we could. We don't have a schedule locked down as the committee, but that's probably something we'll work on this week, I imagine.
When you get a schedule, maybe we can also include the teens.
Absolutely. And we had a handful of teens last year as well. We'll reach out to the schools and, you know, just teens are less reliable than adults in terms of saying they'll be somewhere and actually being
Right.
there. So, and actually the scouts last year, speaking of teens, were excellent as far as.
They were our best help. The scouts were wonderful.
So we're hoping we can get them back as well. But yeah, many hands make light work.
And it's fun.
It is really nice. Kind of low stakes and kind of a pleasant event.
Well, I'll be there as I always am every year for I don't know how many years. And the teens that we had down helping with the crafts last year were wonderful. They were very polite. They interacted with the little youngsters, and they pitched in. So if we get more of them, that would be great.
Yeah, and that's all
Okay.
there is on that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any other new business from Kevin or
I
anyone?
have a question. Oh. New business, the building updates are reported in our agenda in the packet twice, but is that something I just slept through?
No, it isn't. I forgot. I accidentally deleted the agenda item, and I was just going to ask Peter if we could go over it now at the end of the agenda.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, flipping back through the agenda to just after the director's report. Couple of building updates, not too many. So no new update on the roof just yet. I reported last month that we're pushing the bid out to spring, but nothing has changed on that. Regarding the HVAC, humidity has subsided a little bit, but I'm still emptying the dehumidifiers every day. But I think we're hopefully through the risk of any sort of mold down there this year. So happy about that, but would love to get it addressed in a slightly better manner. Regarding the windows project, there's the one window in the second floor bathroom that hadn't been replaced and wasn't ordered with the rest of the windows. So Sanford and Holly, the window vendor, sent a customer sign-off drawing for the final window, and that was forwarded over to the contractor. I haven't heard for certain that he returned it yet, but this was late last week. So that's in the process of being ordered. And then with the alarm system, something we've been struggling with the past couple of weeks is there's a malfunctioning sensor as a part of the fire alarm system. And it caused a false alarm early in the morning of October 9th. Was that the 9th? It seems like it was further ago than that, but maybe it was the 9th. So we had the tech come out from American Alarm, and he can't quite figure out where the sensor is supposed to be, so he doesn't know how to replace it. So I've been trying to connect him with ESC because it's related to one of the air handler units to see if they can locate it. But right now we're just kind of working it all out. So that's just an ongoing thing that wasn't as simple a solution as we had hoped. And also, I included a letter from the Public Building Committee requesting air balancing service. A hydronic water balancing service as part of getting the HVAC to run at peak operating. Because we still have issues walking from one zone to the other. You kind of hit a warm wall or a cold wall. So it's comfortable in here. It's holding the temperature well enough, but it's not tweaked as well as it probably should be for a new unit. We're still trying to get that where we want it to be. And that's it on building updates.
Any questions of Kevin? Any updates? Okay, I guess we're down to the strategic plan committee. Any updates, or have we covered everything, Kevin?
I think we covered everything. We'll put together a final document here. And then I think we can probably disband the committee, but maybe we can wait a month to do it just to get that last piece out and have everybody, we'll take a victory lap before we say goodbye for the next few years.
Okay. Safe space. I have nothing to report. Technology, Donna, Kevin, and Colleen.
I think we reported everything earlier in the meeting, computer replacements, and then I'll be taking a look at going forward, any other computers that need to be replaced. And then just the hybrid meeting room that we're working on. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, diversity, Dale and Kevin.
No report from us.
But we're
Okay.
doing well. I mean, with the immigrant program going on. The last group of the equity boot camp, which was just last month, so there have been things going on.
Thanks, Dale. That's true.
Community, Gail.
No, nothing new to report. You all know what's been going on about involving other parts of town in events, so nothing new to report from there.
And lifelong learning, Althea. And
Like my
Colleen?
colleagues, nothing new to report right now. I
Okay,
don't have a report.
anything else for the good of the group for this evening's meeting? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
I'll second that.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify please by saying aye.
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 Right.
Thank you,
Opposed, abstained,
Peter.
the ayes have it. Thank you all.
Good job, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank
Peter.
you.
Thanks.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Peter.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Take care,
Great
everyone.
meeting, Peter.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.